Okay, so Senator Jose Peralta, who promoted this flu shot, got the flu shot and then died from the flu shot. My heart goes out to his family and anybody that loved him. I feel bad. I'm not gonna be like, that's what he gets, only because if he died from the flu shot, he's somebody that truly practiced what he preached. And I know a lot of people that promote vaccines really do, either they do believe in them, or a lot of them know they are dangerous and they don't take them themselves. So to see this guy that died from promoting the flu shot really actually breaks my heart, because I think he believed in it. That's why he took it, and then he died from it. So I hope his family members actually do research into the flu shot and see that it's bogus and that it's very dangerous. And hopefully it will prevent other people from getting the flu shot. Now, the pharmaceutical lobby, who's now more powerful than the oil lobby, really promotes the flu shot every year. My personal story about the flu shot, I used to get the flu shot and then I kept getting the flu, and I was like, how come I'm getting flu when I just got the flu shot? And then I would go to the doctor, I would be sick, and they're like, what's wrong? I was like, I'm sick. And they're like, oh, you have the flu. And then I'd be like, well, I had the flu vaccine. And then they're like, oh yeah, you really don't have the flu. I'm like, what do you mean? You said I was sick before I told you I had the vaccine. And they're like, oh, well, you really don't have the flu because the flu shot can't give you the flu. I'm like, well, I really had a fever and I really was vomiting and I really had to call into work. So, and I think after that last time that I kind of had that confrontation when I, went to, this is like in college, this is years ago, that I was just frustrated. I was like, you know what? I'm not ever getting the flu shot. And what's even funnier, my mom would always call me every year, be like, did you get your flu shot? Because I have asthma. And they recommend it for asthmatics, even though I would get sick and then it would trigger my asthma. So I was just like, you know what? I lied to my mom for like a decade after that, because I was just like, yeah, I got my flu shot, and I just didn't. And then I start looking into natural remedies. I start eating better, start cutting down on sugar. I took a lot of vitamin C, drank a lot of water, and I really didn't get sick. Even when I would teach at the beginning of the school year, all these kids would get sick, and I'm just like, it took me a while to figure out it's because they got the flu shot. Because a lot of the kids have to get vaccinated before they start the school year, and then they end up getting sick, at the beginning of the school year, a lot of them. So even as a teacher, I was able to ward a lot of that off by just, being healthy, taking vitamin C, washing my hands, and even being around kids that like pick their nose and wipe their snot and puke and fart and all the gross stuff I still was able to stay in pretty good health. Also I want to say, I'm going to leave a link on the bottom of this. There's a law firm that wins cases through the vaccine court. As you may or may not know, you can't directly sue the pharmaceutical industry in the United States. Different countries have different laws. So I'm just speaking for the United States. So you cannot directly sue the pharmaceutical industry, with the exception of the zoster vaccine, which I'll talk more about that in upcoming videos, because they found the loophole. Merck is getting sued right now. But for the most part, you can't sue pharmaceutical industries if you're injured by a vaccine. I'm going to put a link below to a law firm that has won a lot of cases. They'll have the case, they'll have the vaccine that they won for, what condition the vaccine caused. They'll have papers where you can actually read the case hearings. And guess what? Most of them win for the flu shot. Because the flu shot causes a lot of problems, not only death as a senator, but also Guillain-Barré, which is very similar to polio, a paralytic polio, where it starts from the bottom of your body. The paralysis starts from the bottom of your body and moves up, and to the point where you need assistance, or you can need assistance breathing. And there are other. There's this other, I forgot what its name, but when you get the flu shot, it basically has caused people to become paralyzed in their arms and they can't move their arms now. They're paralyzed, like where they got the shot. And you can read, you can just read, I'll leave the law cases there so you can read that. Also, there was an incident that happened in 1976 where they were warning about the flu, and you know, they had commercials and they had celebrities endorsing this thing and saying, oh, you know, you guys better get your flu shot, the flu's gonna come and it's gonna be a very bad flu. And then 60 Minutes, I'll put a link to that too, did a whole like expose when you know, there was actually real journalism and not people just reading from teleprompters and opinion pieces, when they actually, you know, did real research and interviewed people and did investigations. But a lot of people ended up getting seriously hurt or dying from the flu shot. And guess what? The whole flu pandemic that they were like scaring people into getting the flu shot for never like came. So then there's that. Then a few years ago, there was a swine flu epidemic where they actually found out people that were getting swine flu shots actually were getting the swine flu. They're, you know, that, go figure, you know. So, I mean, I don't, oh, and then another point I want to make is when they make the flu vaccine, they basically have to guess the strain because they're different strains of influenza. And each pharmaceutical company has a different patent on their particular type of flu vaccine. There's Flunase, there's flu something, blah, 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 blah. Each one has their different, like think of it as a recipe. So they basically have to guess the strain, and not all pharmaceutical industries make their flu shots with the same strain. And according to their titer testing method, the way that they see if you're immune to a disease or not is they test the amount of titers in your blood, and if you have a certain amount, then they assume that you are immune to the disease, which is bullshit. That's going to be coming up in another video too. But basically, so long story short, they have to guess the strain, then they make a batch of the flu shot, make it, you know, they make it, they start making it at the beginning of the year. Apparently, I guess they have psychics at the CDC and they just guess it. There's no, it's all subjective. It's no like, you know, objective way of figuring out what strain is going to be prevalent throughout the environment. They just guess, okay? So then they make the batch and then they they give it to you. And a lot of times it ends up actually giving the flu to people, or it doesn't work and you still get the flu anyway. I think last year's flu shot and the year flu shot before last wasn't even effective. So the strain that was going around wasn't even the strain that was in the vaccine that they were giving people. So I personally will never take the flu shot ever again. I would just concentrate on, you know, making sure I have vitamin C and A and lots of water, cutting down on sugar, ways to stay healthy, wash my hands. And honestly, ever since I've been doing that, I've been fine. And I'm someone that's immunocompromised. So you know, I have more autoimmune health issues right now. I don't really have issues with communicable diseases or microbes, but that's definitely coming up. I don't really want to go into that now because I want to get more specific on it. But yeah, that's coming up in the future. Another channel that I watch regularly is a guy named Dr. John Bergman, and he's a chiropractor, but he has really good, and people might be like, oh, a chiropractor, they don't know anything about health. They know everything about health. I would trust a chiropractor over an MD as far as disease goes any day, okay? So I only go to the allopaths if, like, you know, I get stabbed or shot in a drive-by or a car wreck. They're good for trauma, but they don't know shit about disease. So yeah, I'm gonna put a link there too, and he talks about the flu shot. He has studies, he has data. He's very thorough in his research, and he's really good at explaining to lay people how to look this information up. So anyway, I will never ever get a flippin' flu shot ever. And like I said, my heart goes out to the guy's family because you know, poor guy, like he really believed in it, and now he's dead. And sentiments go out to his family. I didn't know the guy, but Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. I'll talk to you later. Peace and love. Bye-bye. Mwah.